And we welcome you courtside in San Bernardino, California. We're at the Pierce Sports Center for the final match of day number 1 of our 4th event of the 2022 National Volleyball Association regular season. And this one will see the Utah Stingers looking to hold on to first place as they are 3-3 overall in their division, taking on the expansion Seattle Sasquatch. The Stingers say will be without, former national team all-everything Russ Holmes, who has to miss this event due to family obligations. But, Seattle's missing its own pieces. Cody McCracken out for the year with a torn knee meniscus. That is a key part of their offense, not available. How do you see this one going, Nick?
The other thing is Sam Call's missing number 9, and Peter Silva's been top 5 kill leader in the NVA. So for a team that's only got one win, to see one player contributing that much, the unfortunate story means that he is their offensive, load. And so not having Sam there to help back him up is a tough spot to be in. We've seen Seattle continue to improve throughout the season. I think the unfortunate reality, though, when I look across the net at Utah Stingers, they've got Stormfang Tufunga, they have Enovo Romero, they've got George Mencia. I mean, that right there is just a list of firepower, experience, and it's just, even without Russ, you've got Sean Dennis back in the middle there. I just don't think that there's enough X factor from the side of Sasquatch, and so while I'm hopeful to see them continue to improve, I think that this matchup is just going to be a very difficult one for them to find a foothold in.
Seattle's made a key change to the lineup. We'll tell you about that in a moment, but first, we're going to send it over to the sideline where our third man on our crew, that's Noah Chast, is going to have a conversation with Utah outside hitter Paul Clark.
Yeah, thank you, Ira. And he likes to go by Cougar Clark, so I got Coach Cougar today. And Coach, got a lot of pieces coming back to the lineup. What are we expecting out of your team?
So, missing an Olympian for this weekend, but we got Storm back for this week. He's feeling great. He's looking real good too. And then Enavel coming back as well. And we're super excited to have them back and be super substantial and the things that they do when it comes to their passing, their bigs, their hitting, their serving, being super consistent players. We have a new player, Fabian, as a middle to replace a 3-time Olympian. So he's got a lot to live up to, but we trust Russ bringing him in, and things are going to be a lot of fun for today.
Is there any worry about, obviously, the blocking and offensive presence of Russ being missed, but also the leadership presence?
You know what? Like I said, having Enavel back and Storm back, I think people are going to be able to step up where Russ is missing. I don't think it's very easy to replace 6'10", but I think trusting Fabian and trusting Sean to do their job that's the leadership step up that Russ has instilled, and he's going to help us to see these players do what they can and be the best they can, and I think that's the leadership step up we need. So trust in them.
And you're in a very tight division right now. How important is this match and every match going forward?
Every match. We want to win every match, and we have to play to the best of our ability. So our best players are going to play, and if we make mistakes, we'll make adjustments. But we have full confidence in our team as is right now, and trusting Russ and trusting these guys coming back, and even the new guys. I think we're going to be fine, but we got to trust our process, and we got to trust these teams to play their top ability, and so do we.
Best of luck, Coach. Appreciate it. Ira, Nick, I'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Noah, and of course he's Nick England, and I'm Ira Thor. If you haven't been, watching any of the NVA this season, us and Matt Prosser, who is off this match, call the action, and the last one saw the Texas Tyrants overcome some adversity. It's good for these teams that are at the top of divisions to overcome adversity, as Southern Exposure annihilated Texas in game number 2, 25-11, and came back and answered resoundingly to win that in 4. Does Utah get challenged today, in your mind, from a Seattle team that right now is playing for pride?
It's hard to say. There's a lot of pieces that, Seattle's got an 18-man roster, and they've had different pieces at different events. I think they've got the personnel that I think that they can definitely threaten the Stingers. What I've been looking for this weekend, because so many teams they've had suboptimal lineups kind of across the board, is how do you answer? Do you win the match the way you're supposed to win it based on how you train your team identity? So you see the Stunners playing an undermanned Chicago Untouchables team earlier today. The thing is it's easy to lower your level of play. Stunners did not do that, and that's been the big question mark as they continue getting guys back. Texas Tyrants, we've talked about how good they are all season long. they're able to recover, losing Grosso, no Langlois. Ryan Mounty, the only middle, goes down with an ankle injury. They don't have Austin Lovett in the middle, one of the top 5 blockers in the NVA. He's the number 2 blocking guy in the NVA. So they're missing all these pieces, and they're still finding ways to win. That's been the story of this weekend so far. So when I look at the Stingers, they've got almost everything save Russell Holmes. But the other pieces are there, and I just think that right now what I'm paying attention to, can they win the way that I would expect them to win?
Well, we did see this morning that a Las Vegas Ramblers squad that, I don't know, was missing about 2/3 of their starting lineup found ways to win. This guy over here came out of retirement and had a career-high 14 kills, was a man of the match, so you just never know what you're going to get. Let's take a look at today's starting lineups. First, for Utah on the outside today, they will have Storm Fa'agatafuga. I will get that name close to right before I retire. He'll be joined by Enoval Romero, who has returned to the lineup number 15. Your middles today, you heard it mentioned in the interview with Cougar Paul Clark. Fabian Rohina is number 11. He's one middle. He'll be joined by the 6'11" Sean Dennis wearing number 14. George Mencia will be on the right side. And Reed Chilton will set today. The libero today making the appearance out there will be number 19, Wilfredo Rivera Morales for the Utah Stingers. 3-3, leaders in the American Central Conference. They have right now a half game in the loss column over the Dallas Tornadoes, who were beaten senseless today by Nick England.
I'll take that hyperbole. I'll work with that.
It was a good day, but excited for some more, for sure in this case. But definitely going to be excited to see how these teams all answer back.
Meanwhile, Seattle Sasquatch, National Coastal, they are 1-5 in the year. The one change today is Jeff McDonald, number 1, who's typically their setter. He will be in the white libero uniform. Damian Higashi, who is typically their libero, he will be wearing number 4 and setting. Also, Jacob Tinatelli, he wears number 5. He's one of the right side hitters. Peterson Silva, who's been one of their top offensive weapons this year, is on the outside, wearing number 7. Patrick Gallahan is in the middle, wearing number 10. Austin Schumacher is an outside hitter, wearing number 12. And Pele is wearing number 19. Pele only needs one name.
I think he was on, I want to say he was on Blaze last year, but I could be wrong. I feel like I've seen him in the NBA. Ask him if he...
Utah Stingers have lost their last match. That was on May 29th when they fell to the unbeaten New Jersey Freedom fairly handily, 25-18, 19, and 17. They've been up and down all year. The Stingers won their first 2 matches of the year against the Kraken and the Tornadoes. They fell to Las Vegas, and they fell in 3 to the OC Stunners, and bounced back and beat the Matadors in 4 before losing to New Jersey Freedom. That has been the run this year for Utah. Seattle's had a really tough start. We're not competitive much early on this year. Losses to the Stunners in 4, New Jersey and Colorado, the other expansion team, in 3, lost to the Blaze in 4, lost to the Chicago Untouchables, their only win this year, in 3, and then, well, they were losing 2-1 to the Dallas Tornadoes, and then, Felix Chapman got on a plane because he had to catch a flight, and Seattle beat Dallas 25-15, 15-9 without the league's top offensive scorers. So,
yeah, a quick note, the thing I'm looking forward to here, Utah, when we talk about the ways they should win, where they've struggled in the past couple of events, is having their outside hitters, which means their passing has been rough, to say the least. And so getting Storm Fa'agatafuga back as well as Enoval Romero, that's the big adjustment we look to see here as we get underway.
Gachi serving to begin the match, and we are underway. Crucial mistake there, reaching back at the net, and Utah immediately takes advantage.
That's the interesting thing, having Higashi as your setter. He's also normally a libero, and so his defensive reads are phenomenal. You don't want to reach back.
Here's Reed Chilton, missing long.
And I was trying to figure out where I'd seen Morales. I know he played in the NVA prior since he's making his debut. But Noah, I think you got a little more insight for us.
Yeah, Nick, he actually was with the LA Blaze about a couple of years ago, maybe 2019, I would say. I was told by the Stingers bench. And since then, he's just been playing a lot in Puerto Rico and happened to be backing around. He plays in Utah some, and they figure they'll start with him in the match and see how that goes.
Awesome, thanks for the insight. And there it is, first swing for number 11, Fabian Rohena. And he gets blocked off his own head out of bounds, shut down by Gallahan in the middle, number 10.
So this will be serve here for Austin Schumacher out of UC San Diego.
Club volleyball player. I spent my time in college playing against him.
Schumacher is now 31 years old. Point goes over to Utah, and here he is, Novo Romero back in the lineup. We go to Timatali, and he gets shut down. Storm, and the first block connection for Fabian Rohena. And the Utah Stingers with the early 3-2 lead. And an ace coming from a Noble. And quickly, Utah is pushing Seattle out of serve receive.
They have missed the arm of Romero for the last two events. He's been, one of their younger guys that just does so much damage on the service line and when he's swinging. So it'll be nice to see him back involved this weekend.
Noble just 27 years old. Another good serve from Romero. They go to Silva, and that one sails.
Looks like he didn't quite get the jump he wanted and was a little under that one, but missed the high hands all the same. Utah Stingers not wasting any time or giving any free points away there with some disciplined blocking.
And if Utah gets out to a quick lead, good night. This could be a short matchup if that happens. Nagashi goes back to Silva. Reach out and stuff someone. A monster rejection by Rohena and George Mencia.
There's plenty of clips floating around on the NVA social media sites of George Mencia blocking the best hitters in the league repeatedly. Seeing him get that stuff move right there, you just see how experienced he is. And then right back to it, just cool as a cucumber like nothing happened. And Noble cuts his service run short there with a serve into the net, but not before developing a nice three-point lead, 6-3.
So as the side out goes here to the Sasquatch, Patrick Gallahan, Silver Spring, Maryland native. He is 35 years old. One of the older players in the league. As that is put away in the middle by Rohena. It's crazy to say that 35 is among the older players, but that's, just how it works. Not a lot of Russ Holmes around.
Yeah, definitely the case. Notice, we've seen Yo Slater-Kala has been playing outside alongside Cougar Clark. Noticeably, he is not here this weekend, but having Inovel and Storm is no downgrade at all in that position.
Back set to Silva. He's able to slip it through. Actually, this is Tinatali in this rotation, and he gets his first kill of the afternoon. And a side out for Seattle. He'll serve. Damian Higashi is doing a pretty good job so far, I think, as the setter. Called into emergency duty. That comes over on one. Back set to Timatali. Is there a touch?
There was definitely a touch, yep. The big thing that with Higashi taking hands there, that's not going to hurt them in one aspect, is that this is definitely a pin-centric offense team with Tinatali, Silva, and Schumacher, where their middles have not been one of their more consistently scoring parts of the offense. So obviously the hardest part of any offense to run with the middle connection, but I think he's going to be just fine if they can keep passing well, high balls to the court, and let him go pin to pin.
They were working on the timing in warm-ups today. We were watching that during warm-ups. Higashi was working very closely with both of his middles, Nick, on that timing, because they really haven't had a lot of time to work together to try to perfect that. So he certainly was putting the work in to try to get ready for this opportunity, as that is smashed down for Utah. So here is George Mencia. He is 31 years old. And he continues to be a huge component of this Utah squad. Tipped over by Higashi to keep it alive. And then Sean Dennis doesn't have to swing hard, but 6'11", just very difficult to get a block in his face. And Seattle gonna call a timeout here. Jared Walters, the head coach for the Sasquatch, wanted to discuss. So we'll take a break and come back for more game number 1 in our 4th match of the day. Back here courtside after the timeout for Seattle, down 5 early here in game number 1. Utah has been rather error-free so far, and we haven't seen the change here for Seattle hinder them at all. McDonald's only had a few touches at libero, that's too long. And as we've complimented, Higashi he's played well. And quite frankly, gives them another option on those balls that come back over the block. So you don't have to get into the bad habit of trying to reach out.
And stuff someone.
That's trademarked. Infringed material there. Tip off of the hands.
Yep. Got the wipe.
And he got it, yep. Good call there by you to see that as well, as Austin Schumacher gets in the kill column. Try to sneak attack. Oh, did it fall in? No, and it'll just be free balled over. Sneaky serve there. That is blocked back. Tinatelli with a hand on it. And then Schumacher sends that one into Yosemite.
But there is a middle blocker in the net. Saved by the net there. Sasquatch are able to find that point.
Sean Dennis is ponying up there. I did it. I'm guilty.
As charged. It's important to admit those ones, especially when so many guys on the team are confused and not happy with the call. Make sure that they all kind of stay dialed in there.
Romero swinging away. That's blocked back in Seattle. Can't get it to fall. Great defensive play by Utah. Here's Schumacher. And that will get connected. Austin Schumacher. And Seattle, an effective timeout.
Wilfredo Morales with a heroic effort out of the back of the court to keep that one alive there.
Ever since that timeout, well, Seattle has scored 4 of the last 5. However, this one is short.
Fun tidbit, we were getting some clarification from Noah. So I now recall, Morales, you had mentioned, it was right around that 2019-2020. 2020, our 4-day event in Utah, he was the second libero for the LA Blaze behind Ricky Massanet at that time.
And that is going to be an ace for Utah off of the net and into Noah Chast.
Interesting to see that return, though. We haven't seen him, like you said, in a year or two. But so that was specifically, he was behind Massanet. So Still interesting to see how those dichotomies unfold.
Here is Storm to serve. Tries the roll shot. Schumacher's there for it. And Silva can't connect.
Looks like how to phrase this. As an outside hitter, when you're hitting off of a non-setter, I want to see all the outsides or all the pins from Seattle wait a little bit and go slower to faster on their approach and really explode, because right now they're going on a normal approach speed, and as a result, anytime the ball location isn't where they want it, they're under the ball and they're missing long on the court by a lot. They've really got to be able to get behind that ball, challenge blocks, and I think waiting a bit more is going to be a critical part of that.
And that one won't return, put away by Romero. And that gives Utah now a 14-10 lead. And we'll see Sean Dennis serving away. They'll often sub for Dennis after he drops back behind the service line, but Utah not electing to do so here. This one will fall in. Schumacher gets it to go.
He finds the back row middle and absolutely exploits Sean Dennis there.
I will say, though, Utah has probably one of the deeper benches this weekend, with so many teams literally running on fumes. They have 4 guys on the bench as this will fall in on the line for an ace over the head of Romero. So, useful spot there for Damien Higashi. Higashi goes short again off of the tape. They go to Romero and he misses wide. So Utah, who had been playing fairly error-free volleyball, has now seen themselves, every time they begin to pull away, hand Seattle points. And
a challenge of a touch coming
Stingers
through there.
are going to challenge a touch. So they will review this one. As our officiating crew will send this upstairs to our replay team. Our referee for this match is Joe Aguiar. Robin Burton is our R2. Patrick Bradley is calling in and out on the Utah side of the net. Marina Smith is the other line judge for this one. Caitlin Hoey-Click is the official score, and the replay goes in favor of Utah. And the ball was actually in for Utah. So it doesn't even need a touch. Ball was actually in, never. Well, that was a good challenge there by Utah Stingers, as they saw something that the officiating crew and, quite frankly, us here sitting courtside did not see, and allows the Stingers to end this run for Seattle, as Robin Burton will come over and explain the outcome of this to the Seattle head coach, Jared Walters. Robin Burton is a newer official for this NVA crew. I believe Joe Aguiar is as well. I don't believe they've called matches
Maybe
this
not
year.
this season. I can't remember for the life of me. I think Joe's been with the NVA for some time.
Patrick Bradley, of course, is a well-established official in the NVA. In fact, he even is starring in some of Nick's NVA short videos.
Yeah. Yeah,
explaining how the challenge system works.
It's funny, guys like Joe, I've known for so long, I forget where it is. Also, having played for Patsy Malta in high school, she was the first ref inducted into the Volleyball Reffing Hall of Fame. And she's someone that spent time reffing top men's NCAA matches. So through her, I also got to know a lot of refs. And I've just been around the SoCal or just like, USA stuff for so long. I forget who's worked with just NVA or other stuff.
Oh, that's a gift right there. George Mancias says thank you very much. And Utah will run the score up to 16-12. And they'll hand the ball to Reed Chilton, their 37-year-old setter.
Played BYU at the same time as Russ Holmes. He brings his entire army. Chilton's children sometimes getting loud and rowdy over in the stands. A little bit more quiet so far as there's quite a lead developed. But anytime that gets close, you can rely on the kids. And there they are with a thunder stomp.
No touch there. That's an error on Romero. And a side out to Seattle. 17-14. Here's Schumacher. Yeah, you can hear the rumbling from Chilton's army. This is well covered by Higashi, but he slid over the center line.
It was actually a net coming down from Tenatali on that block. They were, that's one of those hard things when you see that tip go just over your hands, you start scrambling, swatting, and in that case, Tenatali got caught.
So 18-14, here is Anovo Romero. Good pass there by McDonald. They go to Storm, he tries to send it deep, Higashi's ready for it. And that one will sail wide by Tinatali as Jeffrey McDonald's bump set kind of pushed Tinatali too close to the net to get a full approach.
It's all about 5 feet off, 5 feet inside, give your guy a chance to see the block, get behind the ball. All the way to the pin, coming across his body is a tough ball to hit.
Storm getting a chance to swing. McDonald there to cover. They go to Silva. That's run down by Chilton, but over on one. Finally, Patrick Gallahan gets involved as he puts it down for the Seattle side out. 18-15 is your score.
Morales with a nice little read there, trying to keep that one alive, but Pele in the middle just throws it too sharp of an angle. I like the discipline move. Just, you don't have to do it. A lot of those, the high school age kids, you get the overpass, they want the bounce. At this age, everyone just quick redirect, take your point, and walk away.
I feel like Pele should be blocking with his feet.
I would be quite impressed, I'll be honest.
Or at least passing. As the side out goes to Utah. Here is Rohina, 28 years old. And this time, Tanatali gets a chance to swing away, and you see the outcome.
I mean, that's, he got him one-on-one, Higashi did, and that was a big, nice set, plenty of time. And again, when you have a non-setter that's running your offense, or at least someone that's less experienced with it, that's what you want. Let your hitters get a chance on it.
Too long by Tinatali, but Tinatali has led the way so far. He and Schumacher have combined for 7 kills. And that's too long. Peterson Silva, though, has been basically quiet today. I mean, and that's, he's somebody they need to get some results out of. In the victory over the Tornadoes, he had 23 kills. So he is capable. He also had 50 attempts that day.
Put it up. I think we're doing 1 week so that we can make sure that everyone's ready to go.
Here's Storm, the deep float. McDonald had to play it. Schumacher down the line, no touch. It is wide. Might have been wide at the antenna, quite frankly, as Seattle will call its second timeout. 22-17 here in our first set. We'll take a break, come back for the conclusion of this first game. 22-17, we are back after the timeout. The tip by Mencia. Chance here for Seattle. Too tight, though, on the bump right into the net. No chance for Schumacher to get a clean swing. The infraction sends it over to Utah. And, you know, when you play in open gyms and somebody asks, well, how do you like the ball? Do you like it tight? Nobody likes it that tight.
Yeah. A little bit of a throwdown there, but good connection. Pele rewarded for being up, aggressive, and early.
As that error gives...
Moy subbing in here for Pele as a little serving substitution at 23-18. Or 18 serving 23, rather.
Justin Moy, 27 years old, out of Seattle, Washington. Seattle trying to stay alive here in this set. No, but he leaves it short.
And it's also reversed. So that's where I'll check it and I have to look again and then I'm like.
So 23-18, Sean Dennis. We'll drop back to serve here for the Utah Stingers. Dennis, one kill so far today. And that one left well short. Higashi goes out to Romero. Mencia swinging away, and he gets the outcome. And that will give Utah set point as they take game number 1 by a 25-19 outcome. Utah Stingers trying to improve to 4-3 on the year. We'll look for game number 2 when we return to the Pierce Sports Center. Back here courtside, San Bernardino, California. Ira Thor, man of the match, Nick England. Man of the day, Noah Chast. Got to give him something.
Man of the day, what did he do? Show up? I like to go in on him when he doesn't have his mic in his hand either.
Oh, a man gets 14 kills and all of a sudden he can criticize everyone.
14 kills, a block, and an ace. Yes.
Wait, it's not just any block. He solo stuffed Felix Chapman.
I don't think I saw that. I wasn't really watching.
It's on my Instagram if you'd like to take a look. The handle is at Ira P. Thor. Follow me.
Or on Instagram at NVA USA.
It is because I tagged NVA USA to share the news of Nick England dominating the world like that block from Seattle. Callahan, and now on the court, Javon Coronado, number 18.
And it's in our reel from the match. It was there before you even got the clip. I think my guy Langdon Liebler's not getting that up there ASAP.
Seattle hit just 39% in the first set. Needs something to change here in the second set. And they're going to be competitive against this experienced Utah squad. They push it a little too tight to Coronado. Able to tip it over, and then Storm misses badly.
Man, Seattle, for all the things that they, they're trying to find a little bit of offensive rhythm here. They've got to get their out-of-system sets off the net, across the board. It is such an easy thing for them to do to improve and increase their chances of scoring between Schumacher, Silva, and Coronado. They're going to get it done if they give them the chance. Utah Stingers is handing points away on a platter like that, missed wide. Just do yourself a favor. They're missing about 3 to 4 points a set right now, not getting that ball off the net. Make the adjustment ASAP.
Rahina missed that one badly, and Utah, who had just one attack here in the first set, already got 2 here in the second. But make no mistake about that one, as Novo Romero picks up his 6th kill in 8 swings.
6 kills, 8 swings. That is a very impressive clip and something that Sasquatch has got to start addressing immediately.
He is a very efficient attacking beast. Silva, that one will come over and is just wide as the hands there of Wilfredo Morales couldn't keep it in the court.
Great swing by Silva, and once again, give him time, give him some vision. He sees both blockers and attacks around that beautifully, bringing too much heat for Morales to handle.
So we'll get a look here at Patrick Callahan. And that one sails far, far away. Silva tips it deep, well covered by Romero, over on one, and Silva capitalizes on the free opportunity.
We always talk about on the Ramblers, we call that a half point. If you can't get the one you want right away, don't be afraid to send the ball over deep, get yourself a favorable ball coming back, and a nice tip there on the outside from Silva. Gets the overpass, and that's the set he does want. Good kill for him.
Would rather always live to see another play.
Yep, absolutely.
Run down by Higashi. Silva left it short. And then we'll hand the ball to George Mencia. As Seattle will make a substitution, Schumacher back in the match. Gashi to back set. And Pele is able to slip that through the block of Sean Dennis and Storm.
It's funny because I don't think Seattle's trying to do too much right now. And even without Damian Higashi, who's been like the absolute rock in their serve receive, I think the team right now is showing just like a level of consistency that we've been wanting to see all year long. That even without without the big pieces not here, or several of their big pieces, there's some good stuff going on that I wish that they were able to bring back a little bit more consistency, but a nice save there from McDonald.
Storm very lucky that went over to begin with. Second chance for him. Poked high in the air, and again, free balled over for Seattle to extend it. They go to Sean Dennis this time. Oh, laying out was Coronado, but couldn't save it, and Dennis gets in the kill column.
Nice job there from Morales. Every time you see that free ball coming, it's the job and responsibility of the libero to organize exactly who's taking it. He gets in there, gets the right pass, and he's putting Reed Chilton in a great offensive opportunity there. Well swung by Dennis out of the middle.
The pass by Silva. Schumacher. That one will come over on one. This time they go back row. Silva with the deep poke. Chance for Utah. Sean Dennis gets blocked, but it goes out of bounds. Wow. Big break for Seattle.
Yeah.
For Utah, I should say.
Yeah, but man, that was close. Double commit there. Schumacher getting involved against Dennis, and low and tight seal on the net. Just sends that one wide.
Schumacher too deep, but there was a touch. As our referee, Joe Aguiar, saw a touch, I think Utah is going to challenge this.
And you love that. Once again, I mean, everyone just turns to Sean Dennis, hey, did you touch it? And he said, plain and simple, I did not touch that ball. And so it was a very quick discussion. Utah said it's an easy challenge, so they're going to opt to challenge that one. If you're not familiar, the way our challenge system works is each team is granted 3 challenges at the beginning of set number 1. You can use them any time to challenge the following things: a foot fault on the serve, a back row attack, a net violation, a touch on the block, and I believe that's really it. Might be missing one more thing in there.
In and out?
Yeah, in and out, thank you, on lines. But you cannot challenge back row touches because of the way the cameras are aligned. You can't guarantee that you're going to always have coverage. So the way that you handle that is the only touches you can challenge are at the net. In this case, though, with a touch called against Sean Dennis, he immediately turns to his guys and says, hey, no touch here at all. So they know it should be one of two things. It's either a very comfortable, easy challenge, or Sean Dennis is about to hear it from his teammates for lying or being so unaware that he touched it. Looks like that one field goaled right through the middle. Hard to see the exact angle.
There you see Tony Glessner, the head coach for the Southern Exposure, who's helping out courtside during this match, but I don't see a touch there. Look, that one, that split the uprights. The replay system is 120 frames per second.
As you can tell, maybe 1.2 at times. That they're going to get a solid, thorough review, and they will not deem a decision if there is no irrefutable evidence. In that case, they have a variety of angles using the 10-camera system, and they determine that there is, in fact, no touch. That one goes straight through the hands, and, from the Stingers, no surprise there. So they're more than happy to take that free point, tie it back up at 6-6 here in the second set.
Now there, if you're wondering where the cameras are around the court, you have 2 at the net. You have 2 aimed at both back lines behind the Mikasa court dividers behind each side of the court. That gives us 6. We have 1 directly next to us courtside here, aimed at the 10-foot line, the 3-meter line. 1 on the Seattle side of the court as well. And that gives us 8, and then there are 2 other cameras for in and out on each angle of the court. So 10 total cameras as part of this replay system. And new addition to the arsenal this year for the NVA as that one sails long.
That it does.
7-7.
Sasquatch showing a little bit of gumption right now, passing the gut check, playing some great defense and extending rallies. It's exactly what they need to see.
Sean Dennis swinging away. That one will slide through.
The lack of a libero felt on that as the middle goes timber down. Pele not quite getting the read some teammates would hope for.
Here's Schumacher. That one never went over. So Seattle would storm back to tie it at 7. Utah scored the next 2. And that one too long. Another attack error this time by Coronado. And this will be a timeout for Seattle, down 3. We'll take a break as well. Be back for more Game 2 here in San Bernardino. Back here courtside, Ira Thor, now by myself as Nick England has left the building, but Noah Chest is alongside. It was about time. You know, he's had himself a day. How many headlines can you possibly steal?
Yeah, you gotta let him take a rest. He's walking over here now again, but...
Oh, he's back in the building.
Yeah.
Nice for him to rejoin us as that is put down by Schumacher. You know, everybody's entitled to their 15 minutes of fame.
I think so, and he had his 14 kills of fame. And he's gonna soak in that and own it for as long as he can. And I'm happy for him.
We understand that Nick has announced his retirement. He will not be playing tomorrow, as Jordan Hoppy will be back in the lineup. So this might be it for Nick England. And that is it there for Mencia as he gets shut down. Big block for Seattle.
Well, if Russ Holmes is the Tom Brady of the NBA, then Nick England is the Brett Favre, because this man has retired and unretired and retired.
I thought you were just calling me old.
That wasn't the route I was going, but...
And that's put away by Urhina.
Good kill in the middle. He's a bit undersized, but good connection from Reed Chilton is going to help that out more than anything. You'll see the smaller middles tend to find a lot of movement laterally in their routes.
Donald on that pass as eclipse the net. Roll shot. Romero's ready for it. Novo with the power throw. No way that's coming back.
That's something. That style of point is something that's become a lot more prevalent in recent years. Just a lot more of that kind of power tip, the power throw, just gives you so much more control and great ways to score.
And that one will slip through as Schumacher is having himself a good effort.
Schumacher, that ball was barely above the net. He was able to get under it, throw some roll shot on that, put a little extra something spicy.
He's definitely not the most physically imposing 6 foot. He's out of Grass Valley, California, but he's playing well. He's giving Seattle some offense. They're not getting it from too many other sources right now. Storm! And that one, the clouds don't part. That is now 2 back row big attempts where Storm has left it badly short.
That's probably more than I've seen him ever miss in his time in the NVA. So Sasquatch catching a bit of a break there. That is normally his bread and butter.
Good pass here from Romero. That is blocked back by Seattle. They go to Novel. Sneaky, sneaky Novel Romero. Well disguised.
We talked about with Randy with the Stunners a little bit earlier what it's like to have just a wealth of offensive options. And that's been the story of the Stingers' career, formerly when they had Jake Langlois, but they still have Storm and Novel, as well as George Mencia. Throw it to any pin you want. And then when they've got Russ and Sean Dennis in there, there's a middle presence to be a threat.
And an ace for a Novel, second ace of the match. 14-11, Utah with a 3-point edge. Big toss from Romero, this time too long. And we had a comment in the chat just, criticizing the number of service errors, but something you have to remember at this level, if you're not trying to serve tough, if you're just sending it over, just send it over, well, guess what? That ball is coming back in your lap, and it's coming back fast. You have to serve tough or try to serve tough, or that right there is going to happen, and even then it doesn't always matter.
Yeah, it's definitely the case. And you're dancing a line the entire match. When you've got your big swingers, you've got your Felix Chapmans, your Brandon Rattray, you don't want those guys ever hitting anything other than their best serve, which means some guys on your team have to manage their serve a bit more, but it's really just a story as a match evolves for guys to figure out what's best working for them.
Chilton, good set to Dennis. This is poked deep.
Quick read over here, that ball deflects into our little booth, and Iowa with the fast hands catching our monitor.
Monitor still works. We're happy to let our director know. And back in the day, I was a goalkeeper, and I was used to making saves. I've caught babies.
Caught babies, huh?
Unfortunately, the baby was my own, but
Does your wife know?
yes, yeah, she did witness.
Does the child know?
Joy is not aware that I have saved her life on multiple occasions.
Is she not aware because of some of the times you may not have caught her, or?
Oh no, I caught her every time. At least
okay.
when I was in the presence. I've caught cell phones as they fall off tables. I've caught beers so they don't shatter all over the floor. It's a hidden talent.
Oh, okay.
Sort of like you coming out of retirement for 14 kills.
So what you're telling me is you and I are both ready to play some professional, keep the balloon off the floor.
I mean, is that a new league starting up?
That's our offshoot for the off season.
And out of all the things you've caught, Ira, your kids, your cell phone, a beer, what meant the most?
Trick question.
COVID.
Oh, God.
Caught that a couple times. And off balance, but he gets it through, and he will milk this one as all his teammates come over to help him up as George Mencia lands the kill. And that will catch the back line, speaking of catching. Pele will come out, and we will see for the first time today Ramon Jackson out of Charlotte, North Carolina. He's 30 years old, a product of the Air Force Academy. And Romero can't connect here. And that's too long by Jackson. Try to get him with the deep float. Sean Dennis, he's your server. 18-16. Utah still clinging to a 2-point lead.
Using all bit of that 6'11", he hits a variety of serves.
And Gallahan with the misfire.
Sean Dennis also plays a lot of beach volleyball, loves to play some defense, so he always enjoys going on some long runs on the service line to see how many, how many dig opportunities he gets.
This one misfired as well. Seattle just shooting itself in the foot right now. Error after error after error, and I know they're working with a new setter here, and the connections might be off, but this is not working for Seattle, and they will make a substitution. They'll bring in Tinatali, replacing Coronado.
It's a tough spot because up until about 14-14, they were really trading points well, and as they've approached the later part of this game, the wheels have fallen off a little bit.
I was very, very well disguised there by Schumacher, and Austin Schumacher has been probably the brightest story so far for Seattle. Again, they lose today, and any chance of a late season run for them is pretty much extinguished. Wouldn't really expect much out of them. Again, an expansion team, their first year. They're in a tough, tough division with Freedom and the Stunners. Freedom are 6-0. The Stunners are 5-2. The Tyrants out of the National are 5-1. So there's only one playoff spot remaining for Blaze, Untouchables, and Sasquatch. Right now, you would think that's going to be the LA Blaze, as they are 3-3, where the Untouchables are 1-6. And if Seattle loses this match, they'll be 1-6. But Seattle can figure this out this weekend. Who the heck knows what would happen at the end of this year? They have the Stingers today. Tomorrow they got a tough one. They got the Tyrants.
Yeah, but as we saw today, Tyrants are one player away from not hardly being able to take the court. Ryan Mounty going to be trying to heal that ankle up.
I missed the injury, so I did not see what happened, as that is put away for Utah by Rohina. Tell the fans about the injury, because I myself wasn't there when it happened.
Basically, the Tyrants pretty short on. They only have one sub there running, so they have 8 guys. Gianluca Grasso pulled his quad, and so they bring in their last substitution. Ryan Mounty coming down sees the middle blocker on the side of the Tornadoes, I believe, on the side of
Southern Exposure.
Southern Exposure, and to avoid their feet, it wasn't under because they were still occupying the center line, so everything was legal and fair play. But he saw that he was going to come down. He tried to kind of move his feet, it looked like, coming down, landed on the side of his ankle and rolled the outside of the ankle. I think that's hyperflexion, if I'm not mistaken, and that's where you really get some long-term, not fun situations, and ankles can take weeks, if not months, to fully recover. Mounty goes down, tied his shoe up, and it's the kind of thing that makes you think that it's kind of like, that's it, he's done. Which would have implied that at that point, Jose Molero, the shortest libero in the league, shortest starting player in the league, if not just plain simply the shortest player in the league, would have to go change out of his libero jerseys into his regular whites and been the 6th man going front row. But Mounty continued to battle, picking up 8 kills on a bum ankle and a couple more blocks. It was a pretty heroic effort.
I'm going to chime in. He didn't continue to battle. He played better.
Yeah.
He excelled after that injury, and I'm sure it was adrenaline and just wanting to push through, but it was heroic, to say the least.
He knew if he went out, they had no choices. Any other situation, that middle does not continue to play, and they grab another middle off the bench.
Credit to Ryan Mounty for toughing through a almost impossible situation. Now the question is, how bad is the injury to Grasso? Is he going to be available tomorrow? Because they're going to be in a similar situation.
He's out this weekend.
Free ball, and Storm doesn't miss this one.
Yeah, no, Grasso is done for the weekend. Hopefully ready to go in a couple weeks' time for Event 5. Again, I'm not concerned with Tyrant's ability to be here for championship weekend, so I would imagine that he'll be healthy by then. But he was hurting pretty good, so.
Well, they win tomorrow, and they clinch a playoff spot. And that is stuffed down, but Silva's able to tool it out of bounds. The block looked good, but it was wide of the court. And Gallahan will serve here for Seattle. trying to stave off a set point. It's 24-19. He goes deep. This time he keeps it on the court. Storm trying to end it. Silva swinging away. Good dig there from Utah. Seattle trying to extend it. Higashi a little short. Silva had to run it down. And, well, at this point in the match, the ball has funk on it. And Reed Chilton lost to the funk monster.
Yeah, and that's something we talked about and we've seen throughout the day. Like, when you get those rallies extending on, some of the platforms on the guys are just super sweaty, and this ball is quite slick, and it'll just slide through your hands.
And that's one way to put a cap in it as George Mencia lands the kill. Utah, sigh of relief as they take game number 2, 25-19, and they lead this match 2-0. We'll take a break and come back for game number 3. Does Seattle have some more fight in it, or is Utah moving above 500? Back here courtside, Ira Thor, Ollie's dad, Nick. Matt is not here, so we have Noah alongside.
Got some adjustments over here to address on the side of the Utah Stingers. Replacing Storm is going to be Paul Cougar Clark. And the libero, Chandler Baugh, will return and making his debut, if I'm not mistaken, number 7, That's going to be
Cody Wong.
Cody Wong, yeah, as the setter.
We're looking at some changes here for Utah. Why not get the other players involved as you're up 2-0, and Seattle has had its accuracy issues. They hit just 30% in the second set after 39% in game one. Well, that might work at the collegiate level, but at the professional level, you are going to lose. And this one short as well. It's just funny how that dynamic changes. Like if you look at a college attack percentage and you see teams hitting 300, you think to yourself, well, that's a good team. At this level, no.
Not going to cut it.
Not going to work.
Wow.
As
what
that
a block
is
move.
a block back there by Seattle. Tinatali getting involved to shut down Mencia.
Chases that one all the way to the line, gets the hands over. Very well done by Tinatali.
Austin Schumacher, he's been one of the few things working for Seattle. He'll drop back to serve. He's got 8 kills in 17 attempts, and he's passing at a 73% clip right now. Silva couldn't keep that one on the court. Side out Stingers. Fans, remember this is just day 1 of 3 this weekend. Tomorrow morning we'll be back on the air. Pre-game show at 8:30 a.m. Pacific. And then a 9 a.m. first serve, as it'll be a good one. New Jersey Freedom, they are unbeaten, the last unbeaten in the NVA. But they are vulnerable this weekend, as they are missing half of their starting lineup. They'll take on the LA Blaze. The LA Blaze are fighting for a playoff spot in the National Conference at 3-3. Could they be the team to finally end New Jersey's unbeaten streak? That'll be followed by the Ramblers and the Untouchables at 12 noon Pacific. See if Nick England can continue to be the surprise star of this facility, or if Jordan Hoppe will return to the lineup and take Nick's star.
Hopefully the latter.
See, what the fans want to know, as Tinatali's able to hit that off the high hands for a Seattle side out, is this it for Nick England? Will we see more England?
Well, Ira, it's been it for Nick England for, 3 or 4 different times, and I keep getting dragged back. So until I don't have to anymore, I guess, and I don't know when that will be. But until that, and in the meantime, continue training with my guys and just trying to stave off getting out of shape at this point.
So basically, you have become like Brock Lesnar and John Cena in the WWE. You've had your title belts, and now you're a part-time player. You come back when you are needed to kind of raise the star of the rest of the team, and then you go back to your ranch and enjoy life.
If my house is a ranch, then I can go with that. Unfortunately, what's really depressing is that my retirement, or my career post-retirement, is far more impressive than my career pre-retirement, but I guess I'll take that as the way that I might be remembered.
Oh, what are you doing post-retirement? Are you going into broadcasting like everybody else?
Generally, my time is spent trying to run the league, but, broadcasting is the icing on the cake.
Nick not enjoying a lucrative contract like Tom Brady.
Yeah, I'm ready for the NVA to throw that $200 million contract. We'll work on that. I'll let some guys upstairs know. I'm waiting with bated breath.
Sent deep by Tinatali. Clark was there. And that's punished by Romero. As soon as Tom Brady does retire, he has that contract on the table with Fox. He'll be slotted into the broadcast booth with their new #1 play-by-play announcer, Kevin Burkhardt, who coincidentally was one of my college broadcast partners at William Patterson, New Jersey. One of the few times in life that I'm good being in second place coming out of a program. Kevin does a great job for Fox, and so happy to see him getting the nod to replace Joe Buck when he moved to ESPN to become the new #1 voice of the NFL. He's going to get to call 2 of the next 3 Super Bowls, so
An understandable
my
move.
friend. This one sails off the cart. Higashi is able to save it, and it stays in play. Romero, that's just not right, buddy.
One of the best ways to manage a triple block, throw a nice little tip over the top, and that's going to bring us to a timeout here at 8-4 as Stingers take the lead. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Clark will serve after we return from the side out off the tape. Seattle lucky to keep that alive. Then Silva swinging away. That'll carry him off of the ceiling. And then off of the hands as another kill for Romero. Five-point lead here for Utah. That one is left short. Here's Pele.
And here's Moy Moy to replace him.
So Siasosi Pele will be subbed out by Justin Moy Moy. Getting better at saying these Samoan last names.
A bit tricky for us, but
So
always trying
many
to get it
vowels. And Romero just keeps doing his thing. Novo Romero, man, when he is on, one of the most difficult players in the NVA to block. He's got a match high 12 kills and counting, now 13 with that put away, and 3 aces on top of that. So well, right now I can't see how anybody but him would be the man of the match if Utah wins this in 3. Sean Dennis left it short.
I don't know how good his English is. Well, we'll leave that up to Noah to figure out.
As that is a side out for Utah.
Make Matt Kennedy the official NVA translator. In Russian, German, Spanish, and English.
Does he know Hebrew?
Schumacher able to slip that one through as well as Fabian Ruhina not able to close that off. He is talking here with Romero, trying to clean up that block. Utah, this one looks like it's in the cards for a potential sweep. But tomorrow the Utah Stingers will be back on the court. Well, not tomorrow, I should say on Father's Day. The Stingers will take on Southern Exposure. Sasquatch also are off tomorrow as they will retake the court on Father's Day as they take on the Tyrants. Wouldn't that be something if Reed Chilton with 4 kids, all of whom are here in the crowd cheering on Dad, even though he's now on the sideline and taking a break after 2 sets. If he's the man of the match, on Father's Day. That would be a nice story. And that one by Romero too long. He wanted that one. You saw his reaction.
Yeah, that was a good serve. That's an aggressive miss that I like to see, given some of the other float serves that we've seen. Just far too easy. But it's a healthy rip there.
So you could squash what I just said, because a little birdie just told me that Reed will not be with the team on Sunday. So that storyline won't happen. But a block will happen as Tinatali and Pele team up. Let me take a look at Gallahan. And that is another kill for Utah as Rohina. Good to get him going because, you know, if they don't have Russ Holmes available later on this season for whatever reason, they need another middle who is going to be actively involved. He's going to get a chance on Sunday against Southern Exposure to continue his work. Tinatali swinging away. Wong with the dig. Romero pops it up and sent over by Mencia. Chance to counter for Seattle. Silva gets it to go.
That's the swings we expect to see from number 7. They've been all too absent this match for Seattle. It's a nice swing deep into the court there.
So 13-11, Utah still clutching a 2-point lead. I feel like I'm at an amusement park.
Yeah.
As that is put away cross court, sharp angle there by George Mencia. Reed Chilton's kids are enjoying this one so much, I feel like we're on a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster of emotions here. Seattle's trying to keep this one close, but they're just missing a little bit of that X factor. So we'll see if they can maybe dig a little bit deeper and kind of get something to work for them right now.
So side out to Silva. Nice floater by Silva. Utah, Clark swinging away, and McDonald can't preserve it. Kill for Cougar.
A little bit of a miss vision there. McDonald thought he saw a touch, caught the net bounce, so he stuck an arm out there trying to keep that one alive. Ooh, big rip by Schumacher, but sends that one over the top.
He got some fingers on that one. He gets the got the high hands.
Wow.
Does Utah challenge it though? No, they're.
I thought he launched that over the top, but apparently he found someone.
Enough to get the call. It was right in front of our referee here, Joe Aguiar. And just look at the elevation there from Romero. Comes back, he tips it, covered by Tinatali, and a roll shot by Schumacher. Another chance, and this time missing wide. Oh, 3 opportunities here for Nova Romero, and he can't cash in. Utah, you see Romero put his arms out. Let's forget it, move on. That's the right leadership decision there for Novo. Silva's having a conversation with the chair umpire, Joe Aguiar. That was the cause for the delay. Can't see it off camera. Schumacher's there. Bringing it back is Pele. And that one put away by George Mencia. So Mencia now in double figures in kills. He and Romero have combined for 25. Of note, Mencia and Romero have as many kills now as the entire Seattle squad, including that kill a moment ago.
Wow, those are the kind of stats, Ira, that just really provide some insight as to where the issue is. And coming into this last set here, on the overall points, Sasquatch was at a -1, meaning that they've had more errors than positive point generation. And it's just things like that. They've got to keep shoring up and trying to earn their real points with minimizing errors. And we said from the beginning, though, that was always going to be a tall task, given that they were going up against the Utah Stingers.
Well, Cody Wong will drop back to serve after the set or dump on 2. It's a 17-15 lead for Utah. Good pass there by Baugh. And then a misfire on the slick ball. Immediately, you see Cody Wong look at his hands and tell his teammates that one was slippery. Now, it's one thing. They do try to circulate the balls in and out, wipe them down a little bit, as that is just put away with authority by Rahina, but can't do anything midpoint. And you talked about it early, later in the match. Forearms are a little sweaty.
Yeah, you gotta be good on the ball. That is definitely a tough situation to be in.
I mean, everything's sweaty at this point.
Yeah, it is quite humid in here, so.
I mean, you and I are, we're soaked. As we watch that one get stuffed down, Mencia and Rahina.
Yeah.
Rejection City, baby.
That one feels good if you're the Utah Stingers.
And the lead is 19-16. Now, can they bring that one back off the ceiling? Big break for Seattle, but Schumacher couldn't connect. Good defense there for Seattle to stay with it after the errant first pass, caromed off of an HVAC duct. And that's just right there in one sequence, Seattle season. A bad pass, a glimmer of hope on the save, and then they can't get in the offense going, Nick.
Yeah, it's just, and that's been the story of it. Sasquatch never more than 4 or 5 points out, but anytime they start to try to put those little runs together, you just see Utah Stingers elevate their level of play, and they just stop it right dead in its tracks, and Stingers just Sasquatch not quite able to overcome that little bit of firepower that Stingers has to just kind of inject back into the match at will.
You know, Seattle loses this match, they will be 1-6 on the year, and they are members of the National Coastal. They do not play the 3 members of the American Coastal this year, and 2 of those 3 teams are among the losingest in the league, as the Inland Empire Matadors and Southern Exposure have a combined 3 wins between them. Seattle doesn't get a crack at either of them this year. They also don't play the Ramblers. Natali's able to poke that one over. Utah looking for more. Clark nearly decapitates Schumacher. (21-16). That's 3 in a row for Utah. So here's Romero. 15 kills, 3 aces. He's been reliable. And he aims for that back corner. Silva gets blocked back. Poked back by Seattle. Another chance here for Utah. Mencia can't be denied. (22-16). And it's getting late here for Seattle. Romero left it short. See if Seattle has a last fight in them here. Seattle's got 3 players on the bench. So they did come with some options this weekend, but they don't have Cody McCracken out for the year with a knee injury. And no Sam Cole, who's been probably their brightest offensive weapon this season.
Behind only Peter Silva, yeah.
Well, Silva's been too quiet today. Hasn't really done much of anything. 7 kills, but how many errors have come to get those 7 kills? He had 3 errors through the first 2 sets, and at least 2 that I can remember here in this third set.
Yeah. It's tough. A lot of expectations to carry the offensive load. But like I said, Schumacher's been doing a nice job so far.
They go to Tinatale. That one will sail wide, and this will give the Utah Stingers 7 match points, leading 24-17. The ball in the hands of Fabian Rohina to try to end it here. No bueno. He tries to take a bite out of the ball. Those Mikasa balls are nice, but
Tasty,
probably
they're
not tasty.
Yeah.
Unless you get some Mike's Red Hot, I'll put that on anything. Not yet a sponsor of the NVA. And George Mencia puts a lid on this one as the Utah Stingers win game number 3, 25-18. And, you know, for the Stingers, pretty easy effort today. They were able to use their 2 biggest weapons in Mencia and Romero to combine for most of the offensive workload, and they prevailed 25-19, 25-20, and 25-18. As you see the teams shake hands at the court, Utah will go above 500 on the year as they improve to 4-3 on the season, sending Seattle to 1-5 overall. Their mini 1-match winning streak has come to an end.
Yeah, that's, you know, it was a good effort, but it's interesting looking back. It feels like where the Dallas Tornadoes were last year, where you just look at, you know, a lot of things going their way, going well. Unfortunately, just not quite the one piece in a lot of places that they need. But, you know, we always talk about that's part of the growing process. You're coming in to compete against teams that have been around for several years, and so that's just the uphill battle and the nature of the beast. And that is what, you know, that's part of the growing pains and being a new team, which makes what Colorado Kraken has done this year even more impressive. The fact that they've been coming in and really just putting a lot of teams to the test. They've earned some great wins, and it looks like they're probably going to make playoffs, or at least putting themselves in a great spot to do so.
If they can pull off a victory this weekend, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow when they take the court for the first time this weekend, Colorado Kraken, they can pick up a win this weekend, are right there in the spot for that last playoff spot. Meanwhile, the Utah Stingers, with this victory today, they are now 1 game in front. They are in first place in their conference, as well as they now lead the American Central. They are 1 game on top of the Dallas Tornadoes. And a big part of that today was just the play of Novo Romero. 15 kills, 3 aces, totaled 18 total points. He is our man of the match, deservedly so. And he is courtside with Noah Chast, who will interview our man of the match.
Thank you, Ira. And it's someone's birthday, but an Oval man of the match, 15 kills. You missed that last event. How good was it to be back out here on the court?
Yeah, the last two tournaments I missed because I have some appointment personal. So right now I come back, so I'm too excited and stay here and play with my team in this great league. So I'm so happy.
A nice convincing win for your team. How good can this team be?
My team was good, so just we play and we enjoy the game, and just like that. This is only like that. We enjoy the game, we play point by point, and so happy every time, and change the ball all the time. So this is the job.
You're now in first place in your division. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, the division is really good, so we need to continue play hard because the another team also was good, and they are really good. So just continue play and game by game, continue playing, and take to the final. So this is my opinion.
Congratulations on the match. Appreciate it. Our man of the match, Ira, Nick, I'll send it back to you guys to close us out for tonight.
Thanks, Noah, and thanks, Noble. And we looked at his offensive numbers. He finished hitting 58% on the day, but let's look at his serve reception numbers. He had the most attempts on the team, 17 total service receptions, only one error, passed at a 65% rate. It's a pretty good all-around effort, and a sizable reason for he to be a man of the match.
And I think that you're overlooking one of the most important things is he just said, we'll see you in the finals. The man with, a little bit of confidence there. And I don't think it's any surprise Utah Stingers 2020, the 2020 season were our first place champions last year, third place. So a team that has a history, and kind of like the Stunners, Ramblers, some of those more storied teams that when the day is ending, when the sun is setting, they're playing their best ball. So I'll be curious to see how, obviously losing Jake Langlois has been something that this team has felt, but once they're all on the court together, magic happens. So we'll see how this team continues to grow.
Utah's a good team, and I think they're certainly going to be a team that's in the playoffs and probably going to be a threat to maybe pull off a first-round upset depending on who they're matched up with. But right now, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, having watched basically every match this season, they are a step below the Tyrants and the Ramblers and New Jersey Freedom and the OC Stunners.
I agree. There was a bit of vote of confidence there just based on historics and just some of the veteranship. But you couldn't be more correct.
You could make a case that they're probably that next team up.
Yeah, I would say so. And again, it's just that consistency. And when they don't ever get the yips. There's no stage too big that team's not like, we've all been here before, no problem.
And that's what separates them from the LA Blaze, who are having a great year and clearly going to be in a playoff position. The Dallas Tornadoes, who look like they will be a playoff team, but are really up and down. And if Felix Chapman is not having a day, they are not a competitive team.
They're a little one-dimensional without the rest of their teams.
Very one-dimensional, yeah. So, I mean, Utah, the experience that they have that those teams don't, is what's going to set them apart come the postseason. So, convincing win for Utah today, 15 kills for Novo Romero and 13 for George Mencia. Mencia really got involved and carried a lot of that extra workload without Russ Holmes being available today. You got to see the other weapons that they have, and good debut for Fabian Regino. We said his name a number of times. He only had to swing 12 times, had 8 kills, hit 67%, was involved in 3 blocks.
That's exactly what you want to see from a middle. 67%, that's a good clip to be swinging at right there.
And meanwhile, for Seattle, we talked about those attack percentage numbers. Hit 39% in the first set, 30% in the second set, 24% in game 3. And going in the wrong direction, not going to be the recipe for success. So that is it for day number 1 here of our 4th event of the season. We look at the schedule for tomorrow. We start at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern time. This is, of course, after our 8:30 a.m. pregame show where we will see if Nick has caught me in the standings. Not yet. You're getting close, young man. Getting close. But it'll be the New Jersey Freedom putting their unbeaten 6-0 record on the line against the upstart LA Blaze. 12 o'clock, we'll see the Las Vegas Ramblers looking to continue rolling as they take on the Chicago Untouchables, who are trying to keep their faint playoff hopes alive. 3 p.m. Pacific, we'll see the Dallas Tornadoes against the red-hot blocking machine known as the OC Stunners. I mean, they're not just blocking machine right now. They're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah.
And then we'll close out the day tomorrow as it'll be the aforementioned Colorado Kraken, seeing if they can take a step closer to the playoffs, or if the Inland Empire and Matadors can pick up their second win of the year. Our final score in our final match here on day one, it was the Utah Stingers all over the Seattle Sasquatch in 3 sets, 25-19, 25-20, and 25-19. For our sideline reporter Noah Chast, my partner Nick England, Matt Prosser is having dinner without us, and our entire production crew, I'm Ira Thor. Thanks for watching day one of our 4th event here of the National Volleyball Association. Until we talk to you tomorrow, be well, everybody.